Welcome to the Smallscape. Today we are talking hacks, and these are 10 of my favorites. They're actually products not meant for the aquarium hobby. However, I use them in the aquarium hobby, specifically nano tanks, but you can use them for larger tanks. If you've been around the channel for a while, you've probably seen a lot of these, but at least one you've never seen before. So let me know which one is your favorite. All right, here we go. If you haven't seen these before, or if you haven't seen them for a while, hopefully this is a refresher. But this is, I remember this one. I was so excited when I found this, and they disappear around here. Everybody uses them. It's a little paint trim cup, I think it's called. And I got it at the Dollar Tree, but it's great. It has a spout. You can use it to hold your net. You can hold fish, a little collection cup. It hangs on the side of a tank, and it's even flat-sided that you can scoop gravel with. I just love it. Now this is, I think it's called a paint strainer. I got it from Ace Hardware, and any of the links that I have that I can attach that you can take a look at the product. If I can find it on Amazon, I will include an affiliate link, and you can just take a look at it closer. But it's like a bucket liner. I call it a bucket diaper. So when you are cleaning your tank and you want to get all the stuff out, or whatever you're doing, if duckweed or what have you, line your bucket with it, and then you can wring it out, toss it out, and keep your bucket nice and clean. This I love because it is so relaxing, and as long as you do it nice and slow, a comb works great to get rid of your duckweed. It works with any floating plants that you have way too many of, and it's, as you can see, it's quite satisfying. Another great use for a comb is to cut it up in little pieces and use them as little like landscape pins, landscape staples, whatever they call them. And it helps to kind of tack down your plants like microsword. Parchment paper, I love this. I did it for one tank, and it's such a great thing because you're probably going to have it on hand. It's really cheap. When it gets all dirty or wet, you can just get another piece, and it's nice to have like a nice kind of white opaque backdrop. And then if you want to add a light behind there, any kind of battery operated light or electrical light, it just gives kind of like that nice glow that used to be all the rage many years ago. But it's a really nice look. One of my all-time favorite hacks, and yes, it is the season, it is fall, is the craft punch. And any of your botanical leaves, the catappa leaves, oak leaves, you can just craft punch. I've got 2 different sizes of maple leaves, and I like to use those. And you can boil them beforehand because they will float for a while. And it's just kind of a fun thing to add in a nano tank. Really fun if you want to add a little bit of realism to your tank, and if you are like me and you like to add just a little bit too much miniaturism to your tank. Another item that is fish safe, aquarium safe, is polymer clay. Once it's baked, it becomes plastic. So, I mean, there's so much other plastic in your tank if you think about it, filters and whatnot. I don't have a problem using it, and it's so much fun. I actually made little pumpkins, and you will be seeing this very soon. This is what I call a punch bowl mini pond. I like to use these, and they're so easy to get. You just go to the thrift store, and as you would gather, they are food safe because people are serving punch out of these, but you can get them in glass or plastic. And it's just fun to make yourself a little mini pond. Yes, it's very limiting. You can maybe put a few shrimp in there, possibly a couple little Heterina formosa, but that's about it. And then, speaking of small quote-unquote tanks, I like to use these beverage dispensers, at least have them on hand. So many uses, including a quarantine tank, obviously a built-in kind of water change system there. And you can also use it for a hospital tank, emergency tank for maybe a single betta, very small fish, shrimp. And then also nice to have on hand for plants, maybe if extra plants, immersed plants that you want to keep. I can even keep these outside. Use with the lid on or off. And if you don't want to see the spout, turn it around. And this is kind of a fun little thing. I like to pair this with the beverage dispenser Look at that. A step stool holds up to 200 pounds. It is a flat surface, and if you want to just bump up your little tank just a little bit, that's a good solution. This is my latest find. It is a razor blade cleaning brush, and I just found it somewhere around the house, and I said, yes, I'll take this. It works very well, as you're going to see. I have this tank. It's so much fun with my algae, and this green hair algae is very sticky. And a toothbrush in these tiny tanks doesn't really work because the fact of the bristles being on the side. Sometimes you can like really destroy your scape. So the fact that the bristles are straight out, it's such a tiny little brush. You can get them like a 5-pack or something on Amazon, and it works really actually quite well, better than anything else I've tried in very tiny spaces. The other thing that I did show was good for this too, but it has a little bit of a curve. It's a slightly larger brush, is a root touch-up brush in the old hair care aisle. And here are some notable mentions, some reminders. Would you say watering can, great for filling up nano tanks, and with that little dispersing thing, the cup at the end, works great for filling up a tank and not totally just destroying your tank. The old pool noodle, before they stopped selling them, I think they're still selling them. If you cut them up in little pieces, they're great for floating plants. If you have any plants that you want to float up on top of your tank or a pond, really quite helpful. And then tiny rubber bands. I know I talk about these all the time, but for those of us sometimes who do not want to, or maybe you're afraid to, glue your tiny anubias, tiny plants, try using these little orthodontic rubber bands, or they also have little hair bands that are super, super tiny, and you don't really see them. They're super small, and then once the plant actually attaches itself, after a while, the roots will attach itself. Then you don't need them anymore. And then a reminder, don't forget about the plastic razor blades. If you're cleaning the sides of your tank, you're trying to scrape the algae, and you don't want to use a regular razor blade because you quite possibly will scratch your glass, use these plastic ones. They're much safer. They're still sharp. Be careful and don't get any sand in there, but I like them actually much better than the regular razor blade. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. And don't forget, tell me which one is your favorite.